Now, here's the thing. We still got the issue between the Texas government and the United States federal government with the razor wire, and more states have sent National Guard to the Texas border. Let's check it out.
The Indiana National Guard is preparing to send troops to the U.S.-Mexico border in Texas next month. Governor Holcomb making that announcement, saying the deployment is effective immediately and will support Texas's ongoing border security mission. That announcement from Governor Holcomb comes right after his trip to the southern border. 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker breaks down what we know about the order.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott says his border strategy using National Guard troops is working.
This is an area where you would regularly see 2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000 people crossing the border illegally. Since this park has been taken over by the National Guard, the daily average is under 10 a day.
In a statement issued Friday, Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb said 50 Indiana National Guard troops will be heading to the southern border after Governor Abbott asked for help. Indiana joins a number of states that are sending or have already sent National Guard troops to Texas. Federal negligence enforcing immigration law and the failure to secure our country's border jeopardizes national and economic security, affecting every state, including Indiana, Holcomb said in his statement.
Now, let me ask you guys a question. Go back here. They use some interesting words here. They said federal negligence enforcing immigration law and the failure to secure our country's border. Let me ask you guys this. Would you all agree that what we're looking at is the result of federal negligence? If you guys agree that what we're looking at is the result of federal negligence, give me a thumbs up. If it's not the result of federal negligence, then my question for you guys is, what is it? And shout out to DeAndre for being a like enforcer. Make sure y'all enforce them likes. Throw some like enforcers into the chat. Shout out to you, DeAndre. Appreciate it.
Jeopardizes national and economic security, affecting every state, including Indiana, Holcomb said in his statement. But Democrats say federal negligence is a result of inaction by congressional Republicans.
Look at all these rows of razor wire. Look at that. Look at that. Who's getting through that? Look at those thick rows of razor wire. That's fascinating. That's wild.
But Democrats say federal negligence is a result of inaction by congressional Republicans. Holcomb's decision comes days after a bipartisan bill to address border security died in the Senate, with both of Indiana's senators voting no during a procedural vote that would have brought the bill to the floor. The border security bill was criticized by former President Donald Trump. Critics have accused the former president of pressuring Republicans to kill the border security bill, so it would continue to be an issue in the November election. Indiana Democrats released a statement that said in part, quote, "Our state and country needs comprehensive bipartisan immigration reform now through congressional action to make us truly secure, not political stunts in an election year."
Does immigration reform address border security? Is my question for you guys. Very simple yes or no question. Are immigration reform and border security two separate issues, or are they synonymous? See, because again, you got to pay very close attention to the way that the media is talking about this. They're using misleading language.
Indiana Republicans released a statement on the governor's decision too, which said in part, quote, 71% of all Indiana overdose deaths from 2021 to 2022 were from synthetic opioids like fentanyl, which largely come from the southern border. Hoosier Republicans stand with Governor Holcomb and appreciate his leadership. According to the governor, the soldiers from Indiana will start getting ready for their mission immediately, spending 1 week in training, and will arrive in Texas in mid-March, where they'll stay for 10 months.
We reached out to the Indiana National Guard to ask how much sending guardsmen to Texas could cost. We were told by a spokesperson via email that the state has the funds to support this mission and that the final number could change depending on the length of the deployment. We also reached out to Governor Holcomb's office for further comments on this decision. He was not available for comment. At the Indiana State House, Emily Longnecker, 13.
All right, so there's that. So aside from Indiana, there's other places that are sending National Guard to the border as well. How many people knew about all of these states sending National Guard to the border? Now, here's my question. Why do you think that ABC and NBC and CBS aren't covering the National Guard deployments to the border? What do you guys think?
Members of the Utah National Guard, as well as Utah Highway Patrol, will soon be heading to the Texas border with Mexico.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox made that announcement.
You guys see that? Utah National Guard and Utah Highway Patrol will be going to the border. The National Guard and the Highway Patrol from Utah are going to the border. Now, let me ask you guys this. Does this make you question, is there something going on at the border that they're not telling us about? If you guys think that there's something serious going on at the border that we're not being told about, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that that's the case, then give me a thumbs down.
Some members of the Utah National Guard, as well as Utah Highway Patrol, will soon be heading to the Texas border with Mexico.
Utah Governor Spencer Cox made that announcement this morning. News specialist Alex Cabrera joins us now live tonight with the story. And Alex, everyone wants to know, when are they leaving?
Yeah, both teams leave at the end of this month. Mike and Ash, Governor Cox released a statement earlier today saying that Texas needs Utah's help. In the statement, Governor Cox says that open borders threaten our national security. And if the president and Congress won't solve the influx of people and drugs, well, the states have to step up. Governor Cox visited the border earlier this week. The UHP crew that's going will be 5 members of its criminal interdiction team, which specializes in those drug investigations. That team will be there for a full month. The Utah National Guard team going will be there for 2 weeks, maintaining military equipment that is already there.
Pretty simple mission, pretty routine for the Utah National Guard to do something like that. And it's exciting for us because anytime that we get to go and actually do something rather than train to do it, it's exciting for us.
The Utah National Guard says they are just doing their job and staying out of the politics of it because the border is certainly a big one right now. Texas's governor has been sending migrants to cities like New York, Chicago, and Denver, saying other states need to know what it's like dealing with the huge amount of people crossing the border. Diane Lewis, Utah's Democratic Party chair, also released a statement on this, saying this is just the latest in a long line of recent actions by Spencer Cox that prove he is more interested in playing political games than getting important things done for the state of Utah. And Representative Brian King, who was running for Utah governor, also released a statement saying the rhetoric around our southern border is largely manufactured and doesn't reflect the reality on the ground. It is a shame to see Governor Cox fall for this device.
Is that true? The rhetoric around our southern border is largely manufactured and doesn't reflect the reality on the ground. It's a shame to see Governor Cox fall for this divisive rhetoric instead of focusing on real solutions for our state. Is that a true statement? That's very interesting. Do you think that Eric Adams would agree with what Representative Brian King is saying there? Right, exactly. Exactly, Hurricane IQ.
Piece of rhetoric instead of focusing on real solutions for our state. However, Utah's Republican leadership told us this afternoon that helping Texas is a good thing. Either way, there is no doubt that Utah is part of what is happening down there now. For Live at 5, I'm Alex Cabrera.
All right, so there's that. So there's Utah. All right.